The film starts with a news report of slaughter and tormentation by a serial killer who has been assaulting unwary people in alcohol stores. An alcohol store attendant called Donnie grabs a thief who was attempting to purloin some liquor from the store, and he requests the alcohol back. While battling to take the alcohol from the man's hand, they battle and run into the glass door entrance and break it. Then at a point, Donnie sees Jess outside falling out with one of her customers who refuses to pay her full payment. He attempts to help her by convincing the person to pay her but gets stashed. Fortunately for Donnie, Morty, the person who delivers beer, was near and came to save him from the person who attempted to beat him up. The storekeeper named Steve sees a few others on the CCTV camera attempting to spot the commotion, steal from the store, and he pursues them. After that, Steve, the storekeeper, Jimmy, the cashier, Mona, and a customer in the store, also Donnie, are talking about the killer when Morty enlightens them regarding how the maniac likes to invade alcohol stores, and Mona informs them that she heard the price on the killer's head was $500,000. The people at the store choose to talk about the most effective way they would kill that slayer in case they find him. A strange man pays attention to them while they talk about the techniques they will use to kill him. He attempts to leave the store, however knocks something over and draws their side towards him. However, he figures out a way to escape from the store before they approach and get him. They all race to see who that was, however he got vanished. Everybody in the store chose to play a round of poker that evening. Jimmy, the store cashier, who was moreover Steve's nephew, is an addict who was battling with stopping drugs and was placed in rehab. Jimmy attempts to get some more intoxicant from a drug pusher, however Steve gets him, takes his telephone away from him and tosses it. The cadaver of the bum who prior attempted to take the alcohol from the store is viewed outside. While they play poker, Steve talks about his arrangement to get a patent for his ideas. While they play poker upstairs, Mona has a phone call from her customer who demanded sexual amusement. Next, they hear a few commotions in the ground floor. While still on a call with her customer, Mona tries to go look at where they are coming from. However, is ambuscaded and killed by a masked man who was slain on the news. He places her corpse in the refrigerator. This was the same scheme she had said she would do to the killer if she got him. Jess looks stressed that something must have befallen Mona, so she requests Donnie to go down the stairs to find Mona. He goes to look for her, yet couldn't track her down, so he returns upstairs. Later, Jess goes down the stairs to search for Mona, however doesn't find her as well, and unintentionally showers Donnie with pepper spray. When he follows her down the stairs to find Mona, Steve anyway wins that Mona left the store to get something and she will come back soon. However, Jess appears dubious that something is obvious. Jess intends to leave the store to reach Mona, but Steve tells her that the keys to the stores are with Mona and they got locked inside. Jimmy then again is going through withdrawal symptoms from stopping drugs abruptly. He is hallucinating and seeing cockroaches creep all around his body. Jess, who is stressed over Jimmy, attempts to help him but gets no result. The CCTV camera was in the room where they were playing poker, and it continued glitching on the grounds that the serial killer had messed with it, which made Jess more worried that something is really wrong. In the following scene, Jimmy sees the Max Slayer through the CCTV camera while they play poker, however no other person sees him. He attempts to tell the others, but they feel that he is still under hallucination. He chooses to leave the store and Steve tries to stop him. He punches Steve for continuously bossing him around and attempting to prevent him from leaving the store, and afterwards goes downstairs to leave. He continues to see cockroaches who are attempting to prevent him from leaving the store, but later they vanish because that was his hallucination. The Max Slayer got to him and killed him. Danny also notices the maxed man in the camera and tells Steve and Jess what he saw. However, Steve doesn't trust him. Steve was certain all he saw was Jimmy destroying the store, so Steve went to Jimmy so he wouldn't hurt himself. Donnie tries to advise him to take a firearm or something, but he felt Donnie was overreacting and took a torchlight and a knife. However, told them to let him know if they saw anything on the camera. Steve goes searching for Jimmy while Donnie and Jess keep their eyes on CCTV camera. They discover that the meat cleaver is disappeared and proceeded to alarm Steve. However, he actually feels it was Jimmy attempting to play a trick on him like he used to do in the past times, and guarantee them there was nothing to stress over. Jess and Donnie keep on watching him through the camera while he looks for Jimmy. He catches a trail of blood leading into the basement where he sees all the apparatus, and he feels it was Jimmy attempting to deceive him by spilling a lot of ketchup on the ground. He follows the path into the basement where the maniac killer gets him and kills him as well. Donnie and Jess spot the slaughterer on the camera and witnesses him killing Steve. The two of them instantly run there and close the door of the cellar where they spot the killer, and afterwards attempt to get away from the store. They observe Jimmy's dead body enveloped in a foil, simply the same way he had said he would kill the slayer. Jess learns that the killer is killing them in the manner they had planned they would kill him if they gotten him. They quickly go to the ice cream fridge to check for Mona since she said that he would kill him that way. They also discover her dead body there. Jess takes Mona's phone from her to call for help, but they were too unlucky to connect to the police, and Donnie struggles to track down the key of the store in her pockets and couldn't find it. And the masked killer attempts to get through the door by hacking through it with a handsaw to catch them. In the meantime, Donnie observes the store key on Jimmy's caravel. Meanwhile, the slayer corners them before they can reach the front door, so they get away from there upstairs. They thrust a fridge down the stairs when the killer was approaching to get them. However, he lost his consciousness for a while, and they get an opportunity to search for a spot to lurk themselves. They stumble upon Steve's mysterious hideaway behind a wall and choose to stay there. The killer comes up to search for them but couldn't trace them, so he later goes down the stairs to look for them. In the following scene, Morty shows up in front of the store in the morning, delivers some brew like every day, and begins to thump the door. Danny and Jess hear the knocking sound, and Jess goes to the window to apprise Morty that there is a serial killer in the shop to slaughter Steve and Jimmy and Mona. He throws him the key so he can open the door and cry to him to call the police. Rather, Morty states he could see the killer in the basement working with some instruments to the gate opening, and he can get the killer by locking him in the basement so he could earn the reward that the cops were advertising. Jess goes to tell Donnie what Morty intended to do and how he doesn't have the foggiest idea that the door has been destructed by the killer. Morty marches towards the basement while outfitted with a meat chopper he found at the place to capture the slayer. Jess attempts to go to assist Morty, but Donnie says it's the best plan to remain in the hideout, but Jess chooses to aid Morty, and afterwards Donnie chooses to follow her. While going, Donnie trips over a few wires associated with the CCTV camera. Furthermore, he unintentionally finds where Steve stores all the tapes of the CCTV camera. He plays the video of the earlier day and observes something intriguing as he watches the recording of the strange man the other day. Jess startles Morty as she sneaks up on him. He tells her that the killer is in the cellar and they could effectively block him there with some boxes. At that point, the two of them block the passage. Donnie, through the recording, understands that the killer is a matter of fact Morty, and then he attempts to alarm Jess. Morty utilizes a meat cleaver in his grasp to finish Jess as she turns her back. But Donnie's voice gets Jess' attention and she dodges the attack and uses the pepper spray on him. The pepper spray diverted him for a while and she struggles to escape from him. He gets hold of a baseball bat. He walks towards her with the meat cleaver and takes the bat from her hands. Then at that point he plans to gash her when Donnie acts the hero and jumps on Morty. Jess and Donnie attempt to get away, but Donnie slips on a donut and hits his head and passes out. Jess attempts to bring him round but failed. He has no choice left but to leave him to flee from the store, but she doesn't know Morty is behind her. He executes her promptly. Then we see that Donnie awakens from being senseless, but he is bound and finds Morty before him with the meat cleaver. He is curious about Jess but learns that Jess is no more. Donnie says Morty he didn't have to kill Jess and he is demented, but Morty lets him know he just did whatever they planned to do with him. Morty lets him know he ain't crazy. He is simply accomplishing the dreams he has, like they all have their own dreams. Donnie cries Morty that if he kills him, he won't obtain what he was searching for. Morty asks what that is, and Donnie tells him that he realizes he needs to get his hands on tapes that Steve had recorded. Morty tells Donnie he thinks he is bluffing. Donnie lets him know that he would show him the tapes which Steve has piled up in his mysterious concealing spot. Donnie leads Morty upstairs and shows him the stocks but remains behind the door to allow him to take the tapes. Morty attempts to enter the room to lay hold of the tapes, yet Donnie attacks Morty, also shoves him up the stairs and falls down with him, and the two of them lost consciousness. Then we observe that the police show up at the crime location to find every one of the dead bodies, and they find Donnie's corpse with his mouth stuffed with donuts. In the final scene, another alcohol store is shown where people are producing the news about what the serial killer had perpetrated in the previous store. The people there discuss what they would do to the slayer if he arrived at their store. Morty appears there in the guise of a customer to know their thoughts of how they would kill the serial killer, and the film comes to the conclusion there. Well, that's all for today. Thank you.